this video, we're going to explore the relationship between radial vector fields and rotational vector fields that you might have noticed when we sketched them to begin with. So first we're going to start with a function phi of xy. This is a multivariable function. So phi is in space and it's a surface whose equation is x squared plus y squared. In fact, this is a paraboloid that has circular level curves, circular cross sections. So let's actually pay some attention to those level curves of this function. So the level curves of this multivariable function would have equation x squared plus y squared equals some constant. I'm actually going to make this, some c squared. That's what I'm going to call the constant, c squared. Where c squared is constant. That's how we get our level curves. So you can see that if c squared is 1, then the level curve will be a unit circle centered at the origin. So I'm going to go ahead and sketch it at the bottom. The level curve when c equals 1. When c equals 2, we're going to have a level curve centered at the origin whose radius is 2. So the level curves of our paraboloid are circles that can be graphed on the xy plane with different radii. And we can keep changing c, and when c is 3, this is going to be c squared is 9, so we'll get a level curve, which is a circle centered at the origin with radius 3. So there are some of the level curves of our paraboloid. Okay. And I just picked different values for C. All right, now we're also going to think about, since we know we've been working with multivariable functions for quite a long time, let's consider our multivariable function phi, and let's find its gradient. So we're going to write down the gradient of phi. Remember, the gradient gives us the partial derivatives as components of a vector. So the partial derivative with respect to x of phi is 2x, and the partial derivative with respect to y of phi is 2y. And so this gradient is 2 times xy. Notice that the gradient of our paraboloid is itself a vector field. We put in a point and we get out vectors. And not only that, but it's a vector field that is always parallel to our radial vector field. Because it's a scalar multiple of the radial vector field written above xy. So that means, okay, well, this kind of makes sense because we know that if I pick a point on a level curve in my xy plane, then the gradient of phi must be perpendicular to that level curve because the gradient points to the greatest increase in the surface. So they're always perpendicular to the level curves. And so if we draw our perpendicular to the level curves at different points, then we have our radial vector field because the radial vector field is a scalar multiple of the gradient field of this multivariable function. So that's great. This gives us a really nice way of being able to sketch the radial vector field. And right now I'm actually sketching a unit radial vector field. So what I'm really sketching, all of them have length of 1. So I've sketched the unit radial vector field where I'm just dividing by the magnitude. So I've sketched the vector field xy that has unit length, so dividing by the magnitude x squared plus y squared, just so that you realize that I'm not sketching the actual radial vector field because those lengths of those vectors would have to change. Okay, so what have we found so far? Well, we know now that the radial vector field is actually a gradient field because it is parallel to the gradient of a paraboloid. So that's really interesting. But what about the rotational field, right? The rotational field that we graphed in the previous example was kind of interesting too, and it looked to be rotating around circles also. So if you notice the equation of our rotational field, well, we can make it a unit rotational field, sure, if we want to graph it. But what I want to pay attention to is how is our rotational field, let's call it, I think I called it G above, which is negative yx, how is it related to this radial field? And how can we use that relationship to easily sketch the rotational field, and how is it related to those level curves? So we want to know all these questions, right? What is the relationship between the radial field with which we've been able to sketch because it is a gradient field of a paraboloid, and the rotational field? Well, notice that these two, if we take the dot product of those two vector fields, we have an interesting result. So if we do G dot F, we're going to get negative yx dot product with xy. And notice what happens. We get a negative xy plus xy, which equals 0. So recall that when the dot product is 0, now we know that G and F are actually going to be orthogonal vector fields because their dot product is 0. So if I'm going to take my green color and I'm going to find the unit rotational field by dividing by its magnitude, right? So we have negative yx this time, and the magnitude is the same thing, x squared plus y squared. And I'm going to plot it along with the level curves of the paraboloid, as well as the unit radial field that I plotted above. Since our two fields are orthogonal to each other, and actually negative yx points in the counterclockwise direction, I can draw my rotational vector field making right angles with my radial vector field. And notice that I'm just drawing rotational field where the vectors have length of 1 here, just so I don't clutter up my diagram too much. So I'm drawing here a unit vector field. And so in green, you can see the rotational vector field, which points in the direction of the curves. And the radial vector field is parallel to the gradient of my paraboloid. So kind of an interesting relationship between those radial and rotational fields. And also, of course, in relationship to our paraboloid multivariable function, phi of xy is x squared plus y squared. So we sketched its level curves. The field that's drawn in blue is the radial vector field, which is parallel to the gradient of phi. And the field that's sketched in green is the rotational vector field, which is perpendicular to the radial vector field. So some interesting relationships between the vector fields that we've explored.